Man, G, look at me today, G. I'm already a beast, so we just gonna be beastie. I call you bro.
Yes.
'Cause you are my bro. Are you crying, son?
This is not exactly how I meant for this to go.
Take that and smoke it.
It's a Tuesday staple, and we bring it to a Monday with Swagoo. You will hear what some people
Damn,
say.
I look good.
And then you do. You look sensational. All right.
Jeez.
First up on Swagoo Says this morning, Richard Sherman and his mother had messages for his critics yesterday.
What do you have to say to the critics?
Minor setback for a major comeback. That's my favorite.
We walking out on that one. Wait, what'd you say, Mom?
They tried my baby once. You won't get him twice.
That's right.
Best believe it.
All
Best
right.
believe it. You won't get him twice.
That's what they had to say. What does Swagoo have to say?
Mama Sherm out there like, look, man, you put your hands on my son, I'm gonna put my hands on you. All right? You throw a deep ball on my son, he gotta pick it off so I can talk noise too. We see where Rich get it from. When you got a mama like that and she got super swag, you have all the confidence in the world. First, really what it boils down to, G, is this. Richard Sherman mama will punch you in your face.
Fair enough. All right, next up is Andy Reid, who is going back to the Super Bowl after a 15-year absence. Here's what he had to say about being back in the big game in Miami.
Fired up to go to Miami. Need to get on a diet so I can fit in my clothes so we can go do our thing.
That's what Andy said. What does Swagoo say?
Gee, I actually think I just did the smartest thing I ever done on TV. You remember 10 seconds ago when I said, damn, I look good?
Yeah.
It's because I knew this was coming up. Andy Reid, the answer is keto. The answer is this. Protein and veggies. Do that for a week, boss. You'll be ready for the beach. Now, here's the deal, Andy. Don't get too comfortable, all right? The keto is good, but it won't have you looking South Beach ready, so still wear a shirt.
All right, Swagoo, a walking endorsement
Yeah.
for the diet special. Finally, we have Frank Clark, who raised some eyebrows ahead of the AFC game when he said Derrick Henry isn't that difficult to tackle. Then after the game, he had a message for the haters. Here's what he said.
They come in here, he ran for 70 yards. They call him the best rusher in the league. We sitting this home early. They must not know who I am yet. They gonna find out sooner or later when I got that ring on my finger. At the end of the day, we champions, AFC.
So that's what he had to say. What does Swagoo have to say?
First of all, I did not know Deontay Wilder had a twin brother. That's number one. Second thing is Frank Clark talked this noise, and he backed it up, so I got to give him love. But in an interview like that, after you win a game and everybody's talked about King Henry and the things that he can do, what Frank Clark really wanted us to focus on was how his hair looked under his hat, G. That's really what I locked in on. But if you talk noise, you got to back it up. This is a big boy league. That's what Frank was saying. Tennessee had a big boy. They ousted him. Himbo gave me another great stat because this is what Himbo does. Derrick Henry had 5 rushes for -1 yards in the second half of that football game. Tennessee ain't gonna never win like that.
Now, the Chiefs' defense is the underrated piece of this entire season. Everyone talks about 15, and for all the right reasons. But the sneaky big news is KC is playing defense. And we have other sneaky big news this morning. Laura.
This one's all about the quarterback, Screeny. LA Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers permanently moved from his home in San Diego. And Rivers texted ESPN's Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter that he has moved to Florida to be closer to his family. He said, quote, what that means football-wise is to be determined. More on that in a moment. But then also on Saturday night, Patriots quarterback Tom Brady was in Las Vegas for UFC 246, where he crossed paths with Raiders owner Mark Davis. Photos of them, of course, you see him there, generated predictable buzz on social media, highlighting how unknown Brady's future with the Pats is. And here's what Tom Brady had to say about that very future.
I'm open-minded about the process, and at the same time, I love playing football, and I want to continue to play and do a great job. So I'm looking forward to what's ahead. Whatever the future may bring, I'll embrace it with open arms.
So, Dan, it feels like Tom Brady continues to play this very well for himself. But what's your reaction to where he may go and what would make the most sense?
I don't think there's any shot he goes to Vegas. If he was watching football games yesterday, there's no chance he wants to play Patrick Mahomes twice in a season. This is exactly what Tom Brady wanted. He wanted control. This, to me, is like, there's some people who get married really early. Like, they get married at like 17 years old. Ooh. And they have a great run. It's a great marriage for 10, 15, 20 years. And then at some point, you just realize it's run its course and it's time to move on. And Tom Brady got married really early to the Patriots, and it was a great run, but it's time to move on. And he's looking for something new and something different. I think there's a bunch of different places that he can go to, but this is exactly, he wanted control of his life when it came to professionally, and he's got it. I don't think it's Vegas. I've long said I think it's Miami.
Miami.
But he's got control now.
It's L.A., man. It's L.A.
L.A.
He's married to Giselle. I keep telling y'all this. Giselle wants to go to the beach.
What NFL organization is closest to Brazil?
I don't care about Brazil. I care about the beach, the sun, good weather, and fun times.
And selling TB12.
And I said it earlier. Like, you remember all of those California commercials, G?
Yeah.
Where they have, like, the people say, come live in Cali. It's a
Yes,
great place to live.
sure.
Giselle and Tom are that commercial. That's who they are. He should go to LA, play with Sean McVay, a young coach, and have a good time. I'm sorry, Anthony Lynn, and have a good time because they're gonna treat him right, and he's surrounded by good players.
Can I throw something into this? And look, what do I know about being Tom Brady? But it seems to me that if I'm him and I'm going to continue playing, my primary consideration is where can I go that gives me the best chance to win another championship? I'm not coming back to get beat up to lose a lot of football games. And maybe I'm crazy, but I still think the best place for him to do that is in New England. And it feels like he wants out of there for maybe a bunch of obvious reasons. But if his primary motivation is to try and win one more Super Bowl before he's done, I still think staying right where he's been gives him his best chance.
I mean, he's wanted to be a free agent. He wanted to be courted, right? He's always just kind of signed and gave these team-friendly deals. I think now he wants to go out. He wants to hear people tell him how great he is. He wants to be wanted. And I don't know if he always still feels wanted. He knows that they tried to, put Jimmy G up there. He forced the move there. He also, I think he believes that he wants to prove that it's more about him and not just Bill Belichick. And going out to L.A. would be perfect for him to sell the TB12, but also to play with those weapons. He understood that he didn't have the weapons. Now he can have Hunter Henry, he can have Keenan Allen, he can have Williams, and he can have maybe Melvin Gordon. That's his best opportunity, I feel, to win in the near future and get that one.
Is it really a real thing that he wants to prove that it was him and not Bill Belichick? 'Cause I've heard so many people say that, but is that a real thing for him?
I would think so. Quarterbacks have egos. And
Chip on his shoulder.
Really?
Quarterbacks
Do
have
they?
egos, and we love to be the center of attention.
But
now, he's the greatest of all time. I have a question. Why do you think New England's the best chance to win, though?
Because he's been winning there for a really long time.
But
You're guessing everywhere else you go. He's very comfortable where he is.
Right.
He's obviously got the offensive coordinator who works for him. Look, the dirty little secret in all of this is the Patriots have let him down.
Exactly.
Look at all of these receivers, rookie receivers, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, who got drafted after N'Keal Harry last year. How good would they look in a New England uniform? But look at the division, look at the comfort factor, look at the head coach. He may be sick of Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick is only the greatest coach that ever lived.
If he stays in the division, he's got to play Sam Darnold.
It may be blasphemous. It may be blasphemous for me to say this. I'm not sure if I think it's underlying. I'm not sure if the Super Bowl is the ultimate motivation.
Right.
I think the ultimate motivation is for something different and for Tom Brady to enjoy the process of winning a Super Bowl. Like, look, we can talk about the New England Patriots for as great as they've been, all the wins that they've had. Bart and I know players. Dan, you know players. Dudes don't love playing there. They don't. They talk about how difficult it is to play there, and it's the same thing every week. And look, obviously Patriots fans get mad about this is what y'all own players are saying. This ain't me making it up. This guys I know. The winning has kind of shielded a lot of the guys not enjoying the whole thing that goes along with winning games. Most of the dudes say, man, we win a Super Bowl, dude. I'm so tired and mentally drained. I just want to get away from it. That's been the reaction to most of all the guys I talk to.
I mean, we know he wants to do his LeBron thing. He wants to sell TB12 so he can set himself up for life after football. This is the perfect opportunity,
man, go to LA,
to do it.
Go to the Chargers, I'm telling you.
We'll wait and
He'll be sitting at Lakers game with LeBron.
Obviously, he set a lot of people, talking about his future as we watched it over the weekend. Meanwhile, our Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app has two of the top 10 teams in the country. It's Coach Cal and number 10 Kentucky hosting Anthony Edwards in Georgia at 7 Eastern. Then Miami squares off against Coach K and number 3 Duke at Cameron Indoor. Coming up, even at 24, Patrick Mahomes is doing things we couldn't imagine. Is he already one of the all-time greats? Stephen A. knows the answer to that question and more. He's coming your way in 5 minutes. First Take next on ESPN.